Hi guys, my name's Scott Stanworth from Barnsley in South Yorkshire. Today we're talking about gambling machines and how they are set up and how they are made. Basically, it's a tutorial on how they work, how the manufacturer makes them, and also how they operate in arcades such as Stories, Admiral Casino, Royal Casino, Royal Amusements, all the arcades basically that own Party Time fruit machines. This is based on Party Time fruit machines and maybe some other ones if I get a chance. But today is the 29th of August 2020, sorry, and the time is 2:38, so call it 20 to 3. But yeah, today we're doing a video on fruit machines, and basically I'm going to give you some good advice and basically give you some info on these machines, how they operate, how they work, how they're supposed to run, and it's going to give you I'm going to give you quite a bit of information on this video, so it would be helpful to all gamblers that do gamble, so that you have an idea as to what you're risking your money on and what you're not risking your money on. Now, in particular, we're talking about Party Time Arena, Party Time Top Boxes, which are the old Party Times, which have the top box feature, and Party Time Dulux. Now, these machines, they are set up on a percentage of 83%. Now, they can be set higher than that. They can be set to a maximum percentage of 98%, which is what bookies and betting shops rate their machines at and set them at. Now, with Party Time, the original company that owned Party Time is called Astra Novomatic Group Limited, and they're based in London. Well, instead of saying near London, not in London, but close to London. And basically, they make the machines, and they've been making them since like the 1980s. The first ever Party Time that came out was in 1983, I believe. Maybe 1982, I think. I'm not 100%, but it's one of them 2 years, either 1982 or 1983. But basically, the Party Time, when you play them, you're playing them to win, obviously, and a lot of people play them for one reason, and that is to make profit. Now, you can make profit from them, but if you don't make profit from them and you lose, that's normally a sign that those machines are rigged, and they're set to a very, very low percentage, such as like 45-50%, which is actually illegal. Now, personally, I think that's against the law, because no arcade or casino or any gambling arcade or gambling places are allowed to set machines lower than 82%, which is what the law states. Now, Astra Novomatic Group Limited, which own Party Time, and they own all the Party Times, like the Party Time Arena, which is quite a popular machine, which has been out for quite some time. Also, Party Time Dulux, which came out in 1997. Now, with Party Time Dulux, there's two different machines. There's the Party Time Dulux Original, which is a free-player machine, which came out in 1995, which was 5 years after I was born, funnily enough. And then there's a Party Time 4-player, which is Party Time Dulux second edition, which came out in 1998, which is like 3 or 4 years after the original one came out. Now, the differences between those two is that the free player doesn't pay as much as the newer model, which came out 3 or 4 years after. It doesn't make any difference. They are the same machines, but they're just like different ages, and like they came out on different years. Now, Astra, who made them, if you was to buy one of those machines, you would be talking in excess of £50,000 for a 4-player machine. For the 3-player Party Time Dulux, you'd be talking around £25,000-30,000. So they are very, very expensive to buy. And nowadays, they're no longer in production with the manufacturers that make them, because the reason why that is because they're so old and they've been out many, many, many years that now these machines are basically obsolete, so they no longer make them. The latest Party Time that they have made, which is a Party Time Classic, which is on 10p play, £5 jackpot, £2 Astras, £40p for your X's, £2 for your Astras, and £5 for your jackpot, of course. And then they also have it on 25p a go, which is £25 jackpot, £5 for your Astras, and £1 for your crosses, for your X's. So yeah, that's the Party Time Classic. That came out approximately 3 or 4 years ago, and that's the last one that they ever made. So basically, that's the one they made back then. But in terms of the actual Party Time Classic, that is one of the newest machines that's been out since the last production of making the Party Times. So that tells you everything. So there you go. So that's the Party Time Classic, which is the latest one out, which has been out maybe 3 or 4 years now. And then obviously you've got the Party Time Dulux, which I'm going to go back to, that I was talking about just a minute ago. The Party Time Dulux is the one where it goes, it's fun time player 3, or it's fun time player 4, or it's fun time player 2, or it's fun time player 1. That's what they say when they give you the feature. So when it kicks you up onto the top feature and you want to spin the top reels to get a win, that's what they give you. So basically the top feature is random. Now, people say it's random, but it's not random. The machine just determines what it's going to give you. Now, whether it'll give you the jackpot, which is £25, or in some cases a £5 jackpot, depending on which arcade you're going, and depending on what the prize is that it's going to give you, and what they're stat at prize-wise. Now, this is hard to put this is, but the Party Time Dulux, people say they're random, but they're not random. They are actually set by the manufacturer, Aston Automatic Group Limited, that makes them. They set them at a percentage which you can change when you buy the machines off them, which obviously you can set them to your own percentage, but they have to be by law. You can't set them like lower than, say, I don't know, 65%. They've got to be above 65 for you to actually own them. If they're for home use, then it's not illegal. But if it's going into an arcade to be gambled on by members of the public for customers to use, and it's below 65%, then yes, the company will get fined for that, and they will be, shut down basically. But Party Time Dulux, yes, they are good machines, and yes, people say they're random, but I don't agree with that. I don't think they are random. In fact, I know they're not random, because when I've gone into an arcade and I've gambled and I've put a £5 in one, I once went in, put a £5 in, and I won 50 quid out of it. So I know for a fact it's not random, because if it was random, it wouldn't just give you 50 quid from putting a £5 in. The machine determines what it's going to give you. Now, if it's going to give you 50 quid, then that means it's ready to give you £50. It doesn't matter whether you put 2 quid in, 5 quid in, 10 quid or 50 quid in. It doesn't make any difference. The machine knows what it's going to give you, because the machine, when it goes up onto the top feature and it gives you that feature, the machine knows what it's going to give you. It might go up and give you £2 and knock you off, and then not go up for another half an hour before you get another win. But that's just part of the game. A lot of people use these machines and go gambling in them arcades to make money out of people, so that people are thinking, oh, I'm making profit. But actually, you're not making any profit, because there's only ever one winner, and that's the arcade owner. Now, I'm sorry to say that, but that is true. The arcade owner that owns that arcade, he is probably a multi-millionaire who's probably got fucking about 10, 15 arcades, maybe 20 arcades across the country that he owns, and he will be laughing his head off thinking, I'm making shitloads of money out of all these customers. And yes, some people do walk in and they put 10, 15 quid in and come out with 70, 80 quid and make a bit of profit, but that's not always the case. When you go into an arcade and you think you're going to win, it's not the case. You've got to realise that these machines are set up for a reason, and that is to bring money in for profit for the owners that own these arcades and own these machines. So that obviously what you've got to realise is that you're thinking that you're going to win. Don't walk in there thinking you're going to win, because it's not the right thing to do. You've got to walk in there and just think, right, I'll take a risk, I'll put £20, £30 in, and that's my limit. If I don't win, walk out, end of, it's done with. That's all you've got to think about. Don't go in there thinking you're going to win and that you're laughing your head off, and that because you might walk in there and put 100 quid in it and come out with a tenner, and then you're thinking you're going to win, and then you actually haven't. Now, moving on to the Party Time Arena, they can be anywhere from 1 player up to a 9-player machine. Like, so player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4, player 5, and so on. But obviously, the Party Time Arena is one of the oldest machines. They came out in 1989, and they sell for approximately £75,000 brand new off eBay. That's if anyone's selling them on eBay, because now they're obsolete too. Because the manufacturer, Aston Automatic Group Limited, that make them, or that used to make them, shall I say, no longer make those machines because they are outdated, and they cannot get the parts for them, which are very cheap for them machines. The parts that are for the Party Time Arena are expensive to come across, and you're talking like, for the motherboard, you'd be talking about £2,000. For the top reels replacing on the top feature, if they were to stop working, you'd be talking in excess of £5,000 to £6,000, because they're not cheap. All the parts that you want for a Party Time Arena, the Party Time Arenas don't often break down and don't often become faulty, but if they do, it's going to cost you dearly, and I can guarantee that now. So that's why people don't buy them, because they know that they're very, very expensive to run. These are a lot of electricity in your house or in your arcade, whatever, and they also cost a lot to keep them up and running. Now, if you've got like 50, 60 grand in your bank account to keep it up and running, then get one. If you haven't, and you're like on benefits like me, don't bother, because it's just going to be a waste of fucking time. It's not worth the hassle. You're going to spend more money than what you can afford, and these machines, they are so random in some ways that you think, I can run that, I can play it. You can play it, yeah, but the question is, are you going to win? That's the thing you've got to ask yourself, and that's the risk that you're taking. So don't walk in to an arcade thinking you're going to win, because it's not the case. You walk in open-minded and just think, look, I'll take a risk, see what happens. That's as simple as it's got to be. You don't need to walk in there expecting to win and then you're disappointed because you haven't won anything. But yeah, Party Time Arena, that's one of the oldest machines that came out, and that's one of the very, very first machines that came out. Party Time Arena, 1 player up to 9 player, and you're talking in excess of £75,000 to buy brand new, and that is brand new only, not second hand. Second hand, you can probably get them for around 45, 50 grand, depending on where you buy it from, and depending on who the person is that's selling it to you, and depending on how often it's being used, whether it's currently in an arcade and being used by members of the public, or whether it's just on a display, or whether it's just not being used and it needs work doing to it. But obviously, you know, that's the risk you take when you buy a second-hand fruit machine. Or, well, a brand new one, there's no risk at all because it's brand new and it's not going to break on you. But if it's second hand, it might break on you because it depends how well maintained it's been and how well it's been looked after by the previous owners that have owned it. Moving on to the Party Time. What is it now? No, not Party Time. Astra Novomatic Group Limited UK Limited, which is the manufacturer that owns Party Time. The proper company is Astra Novomatic Group UK Ltd or Limited, whichever, and they own all the Party Times, which and they also make bullion bars. If you've heard of bullion bars, fruit machines, they make those, and they also make the other one which I can't think of now. It's Deal or No Deal. Yeah, they make them. But also Bell Fruit Games, they also make Deal or No Deal as well as Astra. So there's 2 different companies making the same machines. So it's hard to differ. But obviously, Astra Novomatic Group Limited, they make a lot of money through selling their machines. They don't just do Party Time, they also do what's called VIP machines, which are like massive, and they've got like big screens on them, like this big. And I mean, they're massive like this. And these machines are, you're talking at least £150,000 for one of those machines because they are so expensive. And these are the latest machines that's out. They're called VIP machines. They've got like a big chair that you sit in, like a big leather chair, and it's got a massive screen on it, and you sit in front of it and you press this button on the arms of the chair, and there's buttons on both arms of the chair, one to collect and to set your stake at, what you want to play a stake at, and then the other one to press start or to pause the game or to auto start it or whatever. And they're called VIP machines, as they call them. Yeah, and basically they're dear as well. And Astra Novomatic Group will make those as well as Party Time. They are worth in excess of £250 billion. That's how much they're worth to companies themselves that own everything, including everything that you can think of, basically, that they make. They're making a lot of money out of, you know, different people, different companies that buy them machines off them, and then they resell them on, and then they refurbish them, and then they make new machines. The bullion bars, they're quite expensive as well. You're talking about 140 grand for brand new ones. You've got bullion bars streaking, and then you've got bullion bars original, and then you've also got bullion bars £100 jackpot as well. Now, them ones are very, very expensive. They're not cheap to run, and they are cheap. They're not cheap to buy, so, you know, just bear this in mind. I mean, obviously, you know, when you think, I'm going to win on this, not a chance. It's not going to happen, mate. It's not as simple as that. You've got to realise that. It's just, you know, there's always something that's a hit and miss with something. And you've got to realise that sometimes in life, you know, I mean, you think about either people going to an arcade and they put their money in their machines. What do you think they're going to do? Walk in or walk out with money? Some people, if they're sensible and they know what they're doing and they've only put a 10, 15 quid in and they think, oh, I'll win on this. And then they've walked away with the profit that they've made, which is more than what they walked in with, then yeah, you've done the right thing. But if you walk in there, make profit and then put the profit back into the machine that you've won it from, or even into another machine, doesn't matter which one it is, that does prove that you cannot control yourself and that you can't control your gambling. So therefore you need to realise that these machines are designed and set up to take money off you, not to give you money. Now, they can give you money, but they'll give you a lot less than what you put in. So you could put 100 quid in it and only receive £30 back out of it. Whereas, you know, in some cases you've got to realise that on these machines they're not bothered about whether you win or lose. It's, you know, you walk in there and you start saying, "Oh, I've lost this much money," to arcade owner or to staff in arcade. Then it's going to say, "Walk out then, don't keep gambling, get out the arcade." Right, moving on to the what was it now? Astronomatic Group Limited make Party Time Arena, or used to, shall I say, not now. Party Time Arena is where it goes player 1, it's you, or player 2, it's you, or player 3, it's fun time, or player 4, it's fun time, like that, and it goes on and on and on. And then obviously, but the Party Time Arena, they can go from a 1-player machine right the way up to a 9-player machine. So you can get massive amounts of machines from them ones. Now, depending on what you're willing to pay for a Party Time, would differ on the price. So this video, I hope it's helped you. And you know, just take into consideration what I've told you. This video is called the basically the tutorial of knowing what these machines are worth and what they can cost you to keep them running, and basically how they're designed and set up to take money off people that are vulnerable and that also, you know, don't really have a clue what they're doing on these machines. But at the same time, you know, it's at your risk, you know. But these companies that operate all these machines, they're not bothered because they know they're making money out of people, so it's not an issue to them. As far as they're concerned, they're not in the wrong, you're in the wrong, because you've gambled your money away, not them. And all they do is they sell them to arcades and to gambling places and like casinos and whatever, and like bingo halls and things that have arcade machines and stuff, and then that's it. So, yeah, today it's the 29th of August 2020. Yeah. So this video's just been uploaded at 2:55, so 5 to 3 in the afternoon. I have other YouTube videos of advice on gambling, advice on energy drinks, advice on disco lights, advice on fruit machines, advice on PS3s, so on. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel on YouTube. Just subscribe on my channel. Just go onto my profile on YouTube and just type in Scott Stanworth all videos, and my videos will immediately show up on YouTube, and you can upload them. You can watch them if you want, or you're more than welcome to watch them. This is the newest video that I've done for 2020. Sorry about that, because I'm trying to keep up to date with all the videos I'm doing. And then obviously after that, the other videos that I'll be doing in the near future, which will be the next couple of months hopefully, or maybe a bit longer, depends on how well I do on these ones, and depending on how much time I've got free to do it. But yeah, you can subscribe to my channel if you wish to. You can comment on whatever, and I hope this video has helped you. So thank you for watching my video on YouTube regarding Party Time fruit machines and Bullion Bar fruit machines and Astra UK Astronomatic Group Limited. So yeah, thank you for watching the video, and take care of yourself from Scott Stanworth in Barnsley, South Yorkshire. Thank you. Bye bye.